The Star Wars fandom has become so toxic, and that's not even surprising anymore. Now, with just over 3 million subscribers on his main channel, Star Wars Theory is the biggest Star Wars YouTuber on the platform, and he has a massive influence on the Star Wars fandom in general. However, he's clearly not a Spider-Man fan because he hasn't been following Uncle Ben's iconic words.
Remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
I believe Star Wars Theory has toxic tendencies and is part of the reason why the Star Wars fandom is in such a sorry state, and I'll let you know why. Now, I actually made a video on Theory a couple of months ago about a fan animation he made, basically trying to explain why the video he made came off as being very elitist against sequel fans, in a video that in his own words was supposed to bring the fandom together. In my video, I explained why gatekeeping is such a problem within the Star Wars fandom, and I tried being as polite and constructive as possible because I actually thought there was some hope for this guy. But I was very, very wrong, because this Chad embodies everything that's wrong with this fandom. Beyond the way he incentivizes his fans to attack other people, which we'll look at today, he also associates with toxic grifters like Geeks and Gamers, which makes Star Wars Theory a literal pipeline into the far right. Imagine you're just binging a bunch of videos on Star Wars theories, and you stumble upon a live stream with this other Star Wars fan who's supporting Theory through a massive controversy. You think, oh, that's nice of him. Then you go check out his content and BAM! After a couple of videos, you think Hollywood has become too woke and that your rights as a man are being stripped away from you by evil women like Kathleen Kennedy and Brie Larson. This is legit how some of this goes. I'd know. It almost happened to me personally, and it's happened to many people I've talked to. Star Wars Theory just doesn't understand the massive impact he has on people. He also either refuses or just isn't mentally able to take any sort of criticism. He whines and complains whenever anyone says anything against him. When Levi, a smaller Star Wars content creator, was invited onto Theory's livestream and talked about how the fandom and Theory in particular could be a little bit nicer to each other and more inclusive, Star Wars Theory went into defense mode instead of talking about it in a civil manner. However, I won't be going into everything bad Star Wars Theory has done because there's a lot to cover, but the C and I made a video on Theory over on his channel that gives a good overview of the controversy surrounding Star Wars Theory. The link is down in the description, so if you find this video insightful and you want to know more about Star Wars Theory, then go check that out down below. But this brings us to something that happened earlier this week. Basically, Star Wars Theory put these 3 stories on his Instagram. The first one responded to another post that says J.J. Abrams wanted to destroy Coruscant in The Force Awakens until Lucasfilm intervened, to which Theory responded with, lol, what a hack. Now by itself this would be alright, I guess. I mean, it's unnecessary, but whatever. He's just calling JJ bad at his job. However, he just had to post another story that said J.J. Abrams official, you suck bro. And he actually tags J.J. Abrams, which will be important in just a bit, but there's also a third post that says, tired of these professionals ruining Star Wars with their half-baked ideas and agendas. To future Star Wars writers, it's not about your version of Star Wars, it's about what's best for the story created by George Lucas. It's not the equivalent of licking fruit in the grocery store and putting it back on the shelf as if it's your flag of victory planted into the earth. This story is bigger than that. And my first reaction to this was utter confusion. I just couldn't understand that this grown adult and the biggest Star Wars YouTuber is acting like an entitled Chad who has let fame go to his head to the point where he'll happily incite harassment towards J.J. Abrams, all because of something he didn't even end up doing for a film that came out 6 years ago. And you may say that he's just giving his opinion and that he's not inciting any sort of harassment towards J.J. Abrams, to which you'd be incredibly wrong. Yes, he has the right to say this, but that doesn't mean he should, at least in my opinion and probably most other people's opinions. Star Wars Theory being legally allowed to say whatever shit he wants about other people doesn't mean he's not still a narcissist who can't for 1 second see any faults in his own actions or understand the impact his words have on his massive audience of impressionable people who see him as a god. He doesn't understand that when he literally tags J.J. Abrams in a story where he's saying that he sucks, that some of his followers who read this will think that this is a good idea and go actually harass J.J. Abrams. I went on to J.J. Abrams' official Instagram account and looked at the comments of his most recent post, which by the way was from September, so hopefully he doesn't really check Instagram much, but that still doesn't matter, because holy fuck, the amount of Star Wars Theory fanboys in here verbally abusing this man, all because of a movie, is insane. Let me read you some of these. You fucking suck, man. You and Ryan fucking suck. How come anything with your name just sucks? Man, leave Star Wars alone. You already finished making the movies, why the fuck are you saying that now? Are you going to cry about it? I really don't think you should have the ability to make creative decisions about legendary sagas you know nothing about. The arrogance to do your own thing and force it on fans is astonishing with the sequel group. Must suck knowing that the most significant story of your career is that of ruining Star Wars. And then there's this maniac who thinks that harassment and death threats towards a person not even working with Star Wars anymore is the only way to make your voices heard. And yes, there were actual people telling J.J. Abrams to kill himself. This is inexcusable. It's sickening. And the fact that the Star Wars fandom has gotten to the point where the fans will harass, bully, and verbally abuse a man for doing his job and thinking about creative decisions, and the fact that it's not even a small minority of the fandom, no, it's literally the biggest channel there is mind-boggling. And Star Wars Theory is absolutely to blame for this. He acts like he doesn't know about the shit his fans do, but he knows full well what he's doing, and he never calls off these attacks. He never calls out his fans for attacking people. In the video I mentioned that the S.E.A made, he got thousands of comments from Theory's fans. They even went on his Discord and caused mayhem. They even emailed him. And these comments that I'm showing you are only the ones that haven't already been deleted by either the S.E.A or YouTube itself. There were again a bunch of comments telling him to kill himself. Theory can heavily criticize someone and then just sit back while his vicious leeches go out and abuse these people. Just like what's happening to J.J. Abrams. Who's gonna say anything against him that would actually make him think about his actions? Like, how is this acceptable? And then people will say, oh, but if they had just respected the source material, then none of this would have happened. No, fuck you. That shouldn't matter. Just because J.J. Abrams wrote and directed some movies that you don't like doesn't mean he deserves this treatment. What has he done to personally upset you? Has he been toxic in any way? Is he perhaps a racist or a pedophile? No, he just made some Star Wars movies that you and a lot of other people don't like. But knock knock, a lot of people actually do like them. You have every right to not like the sequels, you have every right to criticize them, but what gives you the right to gatekeep Star Wars and harass people who don't align themselves with your particular point of view? Also, for anyone wondering what the situation actually is, Pablo Hidalgo essentially tweeted out saying that J.J. Abrams' production company Bad Robot wanted to blow up Coruscant and The Force Awakens, but some people from Lucasfilm didn't, because at the time they wanted to do some stuff with Coruscant, so Hosnian Prime was the final outcome. Creative differences like this happen all the time, especially with big franchises like Star Wars. Now you can think what you want about the idea to blow up Coruscant. If you don't like that idea, then that's fine. I personally would have enjoyed it if a more beloved and recognizable planet like Coruscant was blown up, instead of Hosnian Prime, a system we have no relation to. Coruscant was the base of the Jedi for millennia. Palpatine even continued to use Coruscant as his base of operations after the Clone Wars, so it would have made a lot of sense if the New Republic had settled down there too. Blowing up Coruscant would have had a bigger emotional impact on us, the audience, and it would have made the First Order seem more menacing and threatening, something a lot of people criticized the sequels for. They didn't seem like a big enough threat. But again, this didn't actually happen. Star Wars Theory is calling J.J. Abrams out for something that didn't even happen, and saying that this is the idea of someone who has no clue what Star Wars is and shouldn't at all try to be creative with what he wants to do with a movie. It's incredibly whiny. And the fact that Theory gives all his fans the necessary tools to go and harass J.J. Abrams proves that he's just another toxic Star Wars fan. Also, if any of you guys watching this go over to try and harass Star Wars Theory and his fans, then you're part of the problem too. The Star Wars fandom is in such a sorry state. So many actual Star Wars fans don't even want anything to do with it anymore because of how toxic the fandom is. It doesn't feel like a fandom or community anymore. It just feels like a bunch of smaller groups who are constantly fighting each other. Star Wars Theory has formed a cult of personality around himself. His fans are people who can't even criticize anything he's done. Oh, he may be a bully or incites harassment, but he's also a cancer survivor and he donates to charity, so you're literally just bullying a good man. These are actual things his fans have said. Listen, I'm so happy for him that he survived cancer. It's a horrible disease and it's awesome that he overcame it. And it's a great thing to donate to charity. You can accept the good things he's done while still criticizing the bad things he's done. No person should be exempt from being called out for spreading toxicity and inciting harassment, no matter what good deeds they've done before. And yes, I know he doesn't have complete control over his fans. No one does. I'm sure he'd disapprove of some of the things they say, but whenever someone brings it up to him, he just brushes it off. Also, I think it's really telling about who Star Wars Theory is as a person and as a channel that his fanbase treats people this way. It obviously comes from somewhere. And hey, my audience has been known to harass people too. I once found them spreading this foul rhetoric on a post about me. Shameful. No, but all jokes aside, although Star Wars Theory's fans are the ones doing the real damage, It all comes right back to him. He doesn't care. He's too big. Anyone who tries to call him out is just noise to him. I can't see the Star Wars fandom ever becoming a nice place to be, or just a place where anyone can feel welcome as long as they enjoy Star Wars. Not as long as the biggest YouTuber in the fandom is a spoiled brat with a god complex, who incites harassment towards others for incredibly childish reasons and who associates with far-right grifters like Geeks and Gamers. I truly think Star Wars theory has gone too far, and we need to keep talking about this. George Lucas didn't ruin Star Wars. Disney didn't ruin Star Wars. J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson didn't ruin Star Wars. The fans did. The fans have always been the ones behind the sorry state that the Star Wars community is in, and don't get it twisted. Anyways, that's all I had for today. I just saw this go down a couple days ago and it really pissed me off. It really doesn't seem like Star Wars is going in the right direction, especially not when the fandom looks like this. But what do you think? Let me know your opinions on Star Wars theory and this whole controversy in general. Do you think I'm right, or am I just a Disney shill who's jealous of Star Wars theory? Let me know down below. Also, please do check out my Patreon down in the description too. It would massively help out the channel. But other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe and peace out.